Hey, welcome to a meal prep. Something we've not done in a long time. Well, 10 weeks of Nutrisystem, no meal prep. So I did meal prep before that. So over 2 months, 2.5 months since I've had to prep. It was kind of tough getting back into it, but at least I picked easy dishes to do today. The first thing is and let me just tell you, meal prep can be as big or as little as you want it to be. Don't be intimidated by thinking you have to go all out and prep every single bite of food that you put in your mouth all week long. Anything to help you get through the week, if you know that you're going to stand at that fridge and you're going to be scrounging for something, and when you get hungry, you get hangry, and when you get hangry, you just start cramming stuff in your mouth, then prep something, whatever. It doesn't matter. So what I jumped into today was something really easy, and it's served buffet style with the exception of the pudding. So I have a 3-bean salad that I found in one of my, I think it was a Taste of Home cookbook, maybe not. No, I don't think it was. I think it was one of my other cookbooks. And the difference I made was added corn and used sugar substitute instead of sugar. Then garlic shrimp, I've made that before, so I was really excited about that. Brown rice and green beans. And then the dessert snack, whichever one you want to call it, is a blueberry coconut chia seed pudding. And I found that on wellplated.com. When I put it on my website, I'm just going to link you straight to that recipe. I'll tell you what little thing I changed. That's all I'll do. I won't retype the whole thing. But I think it's going to be a good week, and I'm excited to eat it all. I'm excited for lunch today because I planned my lunch today to be meal prep. So I'm ready to dig into that shrimp already, and it's not even daylight, but I'm ready to have it. So anyway, that's all I'm going to say about meal prep. Do what you can do if you want to do anything at all. So let's just turn around and get started cooking. First thing we want to do is start our rice. I just have 1 cup of brown rice. This is the little mini dash rice cooker. 1 1/4 cups of water. You do not have to rinse your rice. Put the lid on. Now you could use broth if you wanted to. Push the button down and it automatically stops. It takes brown rice about 55 minutes. I have a video that I show how to cook rice. I'm trying to think what else. Oatmeal, and seems like there was something else. It's been so long since I made it. But I really like this little dash cooker, and I have it linked in my Amazon store if you want to go look at it. So I'm just going to let the green beans hang out over here on the side while we're working on everything else. I rinsed them and put them in here with fresh water, and then I did add back some salt in the form of about 1/2 teaspoon of chicken bouillon powder. For the bean salad, I'm going to borrow the burner over here. We'll put our green beans back on in a minute, but we want to make our dressing first. We have 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1/4 cup of oil. Now I'm using avocado. You can use whatever kind you want. Not 1/4 cup. I'm sorry. And then 1/2 cup of sugar substitute. I'm using the Trivia Sweet Complete. That's what I have gone to instead of monk fruit. I find that I like the taste better. I didn't think monk fruit had an aftertaste, but to me this really doesn't have an aftertaste. And I think it's sweeter. So you use whichever sugar substitute you like. The original recipe is made with sugar. So I'm hoping this will dissolve, because that's all we want to do is we want to dissolve the sugar and bring it up to the boil. While the dressing is coming up to the boil, we will start with our vegetables. First thing I have is a can of kidney beans. I've already rinsed and drained them. And a can of green beans that I drained. Hold on, I'm boiling. Okay, that was quick. Can of wax beans. And then this was not in the recipe, but I like it. A can of the little white shoe peg corn. Then as much onion as you want. Maybe quarter cup, something like that. I'll look and see how it looks when I get it stirred, because I might want more. Okay, we are going more on the onion. Now all we have to do is pour our dressing over. And you want to pour it over while it's hot. I'm not going to salt this because there's salt in the canned vegetables. And if it needs it, I can salt it at the table, which I'm thinking it's not. I mean, I could be wrong, because I usually think everything needs a little pinch of salt, but at any rate, we're going to leave this. Now, you just want to let this sit out at room temperature for 4 to 6 hours. Now, I'll come along every now and then and give it a little stir to make sure everything's getting coated with the dressing. So that is all there is to the bean salad. Couldn't be easier. For the shrimp, start by melting a tablespoon of butter with a tablespoon of oil. I got avocado. Then we're going to add 1.5 pounds of shrimp. Now, I use medium shrimp, but Harris Teeter didn't have medium. All they had, my pan's not hot enough. You hear that? There's no sizzle. They did not have medium, so I'm having to go with large. I really prefer medium. I think you get, I don't know, I just like medium. So have your pan a little hotter than I have mine. So when it gets hot, we're just going to stir these around. First of all, let's hit it with some salt and pepper before we forget all about it. But what we're going to do is we're going to stir them around until they just start to turn pink. Don't cook them all the way through yet. Okay, so you can see the shrimp have started turning pink. Now what I have in here is 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I'm just going to mix that together just so it'll get a more even coating on the shrimp. And then this is called garlic shrimp. So we need 5 teaspoons of minced garlic. If I can get it open. So we're going to eyeball 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we want to cook it until it is almost done again. For our coconut chia pudding, we need to make it a day ahead of time before we actually need it. So what I have in this is a 4-cup measuring cup, and I think this is going to be plenty big, is 1 can of the light coconut milk. To that we want to add just a pinch of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla, 1/2 teaspoon I should say, a tablespoon, and my honey is very liquid because it had crystallized and I had to microwave it. But we're going to start with a tablespoon, and the recipe says taste it in the morning, the next day, whenever, to see if you need to add more to it. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to taste it now. I think it might be easier to stir in while it's in its liquid form instead of its pudding form. Okay, it definitely needs at least 1 more. So I'm going with 2 tablespoons of honey. Oh, that vanilla and coconut is so good. And then the star of the show is 5 tablespoons of chia seeds. Now the recipe says, if you can remember, try to give it a stir maybe once before you go to bed. It says if you don't worry about it. So I'll try to remember. And if not, I won't worry about it. So we're just going to cover this and chill it overnight. Finally, we have our coconut chia seed pudding. Now, this is straight out of the fridge. I didn't want to stir it because I forgot to stir it before I went to bed. And I wanted to show you what it looked like if you forget to stir it too. But it made 2 cups. It was like 14.5 ounce can of coconut milk, and the chia seeds plumped it up to 2 cups worth of pudding. So let's see. Oh, it's nice and creamy. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to evenly put it in these little dishes. We'll see how even that is. What I'm going to do is add some frozen blueberries, because I think I told you on my menu plan, a subscriber sent me a little snippet that said the anti-inflammatory properties are like doubled, I guess you could say, from frozen blueberries, because the ingredient in it that does that is concentrated. So I'm going to add frozen ones. I fully expect these to juice out and have juice on. I'm going to add a little bit more. Have juice on the top, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Now I'm going to scoop all these out, and then I'm going to taste it at the tail end before I actually lick the spoon. So hang on. Here are our little puddings. I tasted it. You can taste the coconut, obviously the coconut milk. I personally think it needs more sweetener. Now, if you remember, we added 2 tablespoons of honey to the pudding before we made it. What I will more than likely do is drizzle another teaspoon of honey on top, or some of the Trivia Sweet Complete, something to add just a little more sweetness to it. Now, you can taste the chia seeds, and I do not know how to describe them. It's not an overwhelmingly bad taste. Just if you think that they're going to blend in and be unnoticeable, I wanted to let you know they are noticeable, but not to a bad extent. Does that make sense? So let's head on up to the other side of the kitchen and see what we've made today. So what we've done today is a 3-bean salad with some corn in it, garlic, shrimp, rice, brown rice, and green beans, and our blueberry coconut chia seed pudding. I think these are going to help me be successful this week. Help me, when I don't know what to eat, have something ready. So that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one.